It's the first Friday of the month, so that means we're sitting down with Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett for this month's Eye on Terre Haute. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here.
Well, it is November, and those leaves are quickly falling to the ground, if they haven't already. But leaf pickup is starting.
Yep. You know, as I was driving in, I just look at some of the trees are still green, and some of them completely have lost their leaves, and that's why we kind of delayed it about a week. We always try to start about November 1st, but to get as many leaves down, obviously, as we can. And we're going to start on the south end this year. We try to rotate that periodically, and we just ask people to start getting your leaves out to the road. Watch the media, you know, because the weather will affect us a little bit. We have some bad rainy days. We'll have to delay it. Keep an eye on the, you know, usually you guys are really good about running it on the ticker, letting people know what's going to happen that particular week. But we just ask them to get it out to the tree row and have them ready to go as we make this one pass so you don't get left behind.
And I think that's very important to note. You're just doing one pass, and that's because of budget issues, that kind of thing. You still wanted to keep it there, but you can only afford one pass.
It is an important thing. It's just, it's an expensive part of what we do, and you kind of have to stop everything else because we've only got 35 people in the street department, and so it takes all of our resources, and it'll take a couple of months to do this. And so, you know, hopefully the snow won't come as early as last year. That was what really hurt us bad last year.
So talk a little bit about, besides the leaves, another fall annual problem is the crows. Kind of tell us how the Crow Committee is doing.
Doing great. I mean, I think we're even more organized. We're a lot smarter. We kind of know more about the habits and behaviors. We've had some folks step up to donate to us, some private businesses and local government. And it's started off very well. We just continue to have a need for volunteers. And I know we've talked about that through the media, but basically, when you're building this ring to scare them into certain areas and keep them out of the inner city area, if you have holes in that, you know, where people can't make it or you don't have enough people, those crows find those holes and chinks in the armor really quickly, and then they start flowing in until it's closed off. And so if we can keep them out for a couple of weeks at a time, then they won't try to do that. But if, you know, a couple of days, they will. And so more volunteers would be great. You can call the Crow hotline, just call my office, call the Purdue Extension office. Any of us can help you get plugged in.
And you were saying that it takes a couple of years before, you know, they figure out, oh, this is a new migration pattern, and because right now it's kind of instinctual to go to the old places. Right.
They go back to the places where they feel safe, and they want no predators. They like the warmth of the buildings. They like lighting. They like noise. They want to be somewhere where they can kind of blend in, and they'll keep coming back. Once you scare them out of there, you got to keep them out, and then they'll stay at a new spot. Then we'll continue to move them out into places where they're not disturbing anybody. And over a period of years, then them and their offspring then will figure that out, and they'll begin to stay there on a regular basis.
And you do this every night?
Yes, every night.
Until?
Early March. Kind of depends on when the weather breaks. You know, when it's really cold, they'll still keep coming. So in March, we'll make that decision about when to stop.
And I was telling him, you do seem to notice the effects already from
this. Yeah, you know, we ran them out of the downtown area last year. And there was a couple little trees here and there, but this year our goal is to completely get them out of that area. But once again, it comes back to the volunteers. The more volunteers we have, the more success we'll have.
And real quick, you just passed the budget for next year, and how are things looking with that? How is that going?
Well, you know, it's still tight, but we've got a fundable budget, which means we believe the state will approve it here in late December. They'll put their stamp on it. We believe that we've got enough revenues to cover all of our expenses, which obviously that's always the goal. Things continue to go up in cost every year. No matter where you're at, your costs go up. And our revenues will go down for one more year, and then they'll level out. So we've got one more difficult year to work through, and I think we'll be okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it,
as
always. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
If you'd like to see this segment again, or you have a segment idea of your own, you can log on to WTHI-TV.com and click on the community page.